Hello dear students, my name is Fayaz and once again you are most welcome to our beautiful channel Afzal Academy। आज की इस वीडियो में हम क्लास 10th फिजिक्स की एक बहुत ही बेहतरीन सी यूनिट लेकर आ गए हैं जिसका नाम है इलेक्ट्रिसिटी। आज की इस वीडियो में हम इलेक्ट्रिसिटी को एक ही वीडियो में बिना किसी पार्ट को मिस किए अच्छे तरीके से खत्म करेंगे। तो चलिए आइए शुरू करते हैं बिना किसी देर के। इलेक्ट्रिसिटी को समझने से पहले हम कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट टर्म्स की बात करेंगे, जिसमें से पहला टर्म जो हम पढ़ते हैं वो देखते हैं इलेक्ट्रिक करंट। इस इलेक्ट्रिक करंट को भी समझने से पहले एक टर्म होता है जिसको हम कहते हैं इलेक्ट्रिक चार्ज, उसको समझ लेते हैं। सपोज एक बॉडी है हमारे पास ए। हम केमिस्ट्री में पढ़ते हैं कि एवरी बॉडी, जो जितना भी बॉडी हमारे नेचर में है, हर पार्टिकल के अंदर छोटे 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 एटम्स होते हैं जो स्मॉलेस्ट यूनिट होते हैं उसके। और उन एटम्स में तीन तरह के पार्टिकल्स होते हैं जिनमें पहला प्रोटॉन, दूसरा इलेक्ट्रॉन और तीसरा न्यूट्रॉन होता है। हम जानते हैं कि ये प्रोटॉन और ये न्यूट्रॉन न्यूक्लियस के अंदर पाया जाता है और उसके अराउंड जो ऑर्बिट में रिवॉल्व करता है वो इलेक्ट्रॉन होता है। हमने देखा है कि फ्लो इस इलेक्ट्रॉन का होता है क्योंकि ये ऑर्बिट में होता है, और चार्ज अगर किसी बॉडी पर डेवलप हो रहा है तो वो भी इसी इलेक्ट्रॉन की वजह से होता है। तो अगर हम बात किसी एक चार्ज की कर रहे हैं तो या तो प्रोटॉन या इलेक्ट्रॉन की बात कर रहे हैं, न्यूट्रॉन की बात कर रहे हैं। लेकिन जब हम इलेक्ट्रिक करंट कहते हैं तो ये फ्लो है किसी अमाउंट ऑफ चार्ज का एक पर्टिकुलर एरिया से यूनिट टाइम में, या फिर इसको हम फ्लो ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन भी कहते हैं बिकॉज इलेक्ट्रॉन का ही फ्लो होता है। तो flow of electron or the flow of amount of charge through a particular area in a unit time is known as electric current। जैसे कि सपोज कीजिए एक कंडक्टर है, ये एक कंडक्टर है, क्रॉस सेक्शनल एरिया ए है या कुछ भी कंडक्टर है जिसका एरिया कुछ भी है। तो इस कंडक्टर से अगर पर्टिकुलर टाइम में पर्टिकुलर एरिया में जो चार्ज फ्लो होता है उस फ्लो को हम लोग इलेक्ट्रिक करंट डिफाइन करते हैं। इलेक्ट्रिक करंट उस फ्लो को डिफाइन करते हैं। अगर पर्टिकुलर एक चार्ज की बात की जाए तो फिर वो इलेक्ट्रिक करंट नहीं कहलाता। इसके बाद बात करते हैं क्वांटिटेटिवली इलेक्ट्रिक करंट इज डिफाइंड एज द रेट ऑफ फ्लो ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिक चार्ज। यही हमने देखा कि उस इलेक्ट्रिक चार्ज का फ्लो एक पर्टिकुलर एरिया से पर्टिकुलर टाइम में हो रहा है, तब हम इलेक्ट्रिक करंट कहेंगे, यानी कि रेट ऑफ फ्लो ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिक चार्ज। तो करंट को हम डिफाइन करते हैं चार्ज फ्लोन पर यूनिट टाइम टेकन, दैट इज द रेट ऑफ फ्लो ऑफ चार्ज। सो आई इन शॉर्ट कैन ऑल्सो बी रिटन एज Q divided by T. It can also be written as Q divided by T. If we talk about the SI unit of current, so the SI unit of current is ampere. Please remember, the SI unit of current is ampere. How can we define 1 ampere? If we define the unit of charge, it is coming out to be Coulomb, as given by the scientist whose name was Coulomb. And as already know that the SI unit of time is second, so the SI unit of the current will coming out to be Coulomb per second. So it is Coulomb per second. We can define 1 ampere as the flow of 1 coulomb of charge through any cross section of a conductor in 1 second, then we called it as 1 ampere of current is flowed. नाउ अगर हम यूनिट के कन्वर्जन की बात करें तो 1 मिली एम्पियर को हम लोग 10 टू दी पावर -3 एम्पियर भी लिख सकते हैं। जैसे मैथ में 1 मिलीमीटर को हम लोग 10 टू दी पावर -3 मीटर को लिखते हैं, उसी तरह से यहां पर जो है 1 मिली एम्पियर को 10 टू दी पावर -3 एम्पियर भी लिख सकते हैं। 1 माइक्रो एम्पियर को हम लोग 10 टू दी पावर -6 एम्पियर लिखते हैं। ये हमारा यूनिट ऑफ कन्वर्जन है, जो क्वेश्चन में अगर दे दिया गया माइक्रो एम्पियर में तो हम लोग कन्वर्ट करेंगे उसको 10 टू दी पावर -6 से मल्टीप्लाई करके, या मिली एम्पियर में दिया हो तो 10 टू दी पावर -3 से मल्टीप्लाई करके। इसी तरीके से चार्ज में भी वो 1 मिली कुलम्ब या 1 माइक्रो कुलम्ब इस तरह से दे सकता है, तो हम उसको कन्वर्ट कर लेंगे इस डिजिट से मल्टीप्लाई करके। अब करंट की डायरेक्शन की बात की जाए तो कन्वेंशनल बात की जाए, अगर जब पहले के जमाने में जब बताया जाता था करंट की डायरेक्शन, तो मान लेते हैं ये एक सेल है जिसका ये एक पॉजिटिव प्लेट है और ये एक नेगेटिव प्लेट है। बड़ा वाला पॉजिटिव प्लेट होता है और छोटा वाला नेगेटिव प्लेट होता है, अगर आपको थोड़ा सा भी सेल के बारे में मालूम है। कन्वेंशनल बात की जाती थी कि करंट का डायरेक्शन जो है यहां पर पॉजिटिव से नेगेटिव प्लेट की तरफ फ्लो करेगा, दैट इज यही हमारा इलेक्ट्रॉन के फ्लो का डायरेक्शन होगा, यानी कि इलेक्ट्रॉन के फ्लो का डायरेक्शन होगा। लेकिन बाद में पता चला कि करंट का डायरेक्शन इलेक्ट्रॉन के फ्लो के डायरेक्शन के अपोजिट होता है, यानी कि करंट के फ्लो का डायरेक्शन नेगेटिव टू पॉजिटिव होगा, लेकिन रेदर देन इलेक्ट्रॉन के फ्लो का डायरेक्शन पॉजिटिव टू नेगेटिव है। तो कन्वेंशनल बात थी कि पॉजिटिव टू नेगेटिव करंट फ्लो करता है, पर बाद में पता चला कि इलेक्ट्रॉन तो पॉजिटिव टू नेगेटिव फ्लो कर रहा है, बट करंट इज फ्लोइंग अपोजिट टू द डायरेक्शन ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन। नाउ द नेक्स्ट टॉपिक इसमें आता है इलेक्ट्रिक पोटेंशियल। इलेक्ट्रिक पोटेंशियल क्या होता है? अगर बात करते हैं, एक पॉइंट ये ए है और एक पॉइंट ये बी है। अगर किसी यूनिट पॉजिटिव चार्ज यानी उस चार्ज की मैग्नीट्यूड 1 हो, इनफाइनाइट डिस्टेंस से लाने में जो वर्क डन इस पॉइंट पर होगा, यानी यूनिट पॉजिटिव चार्ज को इनफाइनाइट से इस पॉइंट बी पर लाने में जो वर्क डन किया जाएगा, वो वर्क डन इसके पोटेंशियल के बराबर होगा, जिसको हम लोग वी बी से रिप्रेजेंट करेंगे। कैन ऑल्सो बी रिप्रेजेंटेड एज वर्क डन डिवाइडेड बाई चार्ज। सो दिस इज द वर्क डन इन केस ऑफ बी। If a unit positive charge is also taken here from an infinite distance and it is brought to the point A, so the work done in bringing that unit positive charge from infinity to A can be written as the potential of A. The potential of A, which can be represented as VA. It can also be written as the work done of A divided by charge, that is work done per unit charge. So the work done have a common formula, that is equal to Q into V, that is the charge into potential. But no, it is not the perfect formula. We have to always see the potential difference, not the potential of any point. Always see the potential difference. If we see the potential difference, in math we know that the difference means to subtract. So basically the subtraction of the potential of these 2 points is equal to the potential difference between these 2 points. That is the delta V, which is also known as the potential difference. In math, in higher class, you will be reading that the difference is written as delta. So the difference in potential delta V can be represented as VA minus VB. That is the difference in potential between these 2 points. So some student will ask, why not the difference in potential between the infinity and this point A? Why? Why is there the potential difference between these 2 points? Very good question. So I will say that the potential of the infinity is experimentally coming out to be 0. So if we subtract is VA minus V of infinity, so this infinity potential is 0, we will get the potential as VA. So we take here as potential of VA, because the potential of infinity is 0. Same as here, the potential of infinity is 0. So the VB minus of V infinity coming out to be 0. So the potential is coming out to be VB. But when we subtract these two have a potential difference. So the net work done have a very common formula, Q into delta V, that is the charge into the change in potential difference, not only the potential difference. Charge multiplied by the change in potential difference. Now next, if we talk about the electric circuit, first of all, we should also note that what is the unit of potential difference. So unit of potential difference is coming out to be volt. If we write it as work upon charge, so the unit of work in physics is joule and charge, as we have already told you, is coulomb. So the unit of potential difference is coming out to be, or potential, joule per coulomb. So we can define 1 volt as when 1 joule of energy over the when 1 joule of work is to be done in bringing a 1 coulomb of charge from infinity to a particular point, then 1 volt of potential is at that point. Now, after the potential and the potential difference, let us elaborate the electric circuit. What does we mean by electric circuit? So a particular diagram which represent the all component of a particular electric device is known as electric circuit. Suppose a continuous conducting path between the terminal of a source electricity is known as electric circuit. That is the continuous conducting path. Here is the battery. In electric circuit, there is a battery, there is a plug or a key, there is an ammeter for the measuring of the current and a voltmeter also for the measuring of the voltage. There is a bulb which will be getting the source from the battery and will glow. So these are the important component of electric circuit. So electric circuit is also defined as a closed path, enclosed path, a closed path in which a source electricity is going to a source for the conduction of electricity, that is electric circuit. And the drawing showing the way various electrical devices are known as circuit diagram. So this diagram can show the various type of electric devices like a fan, like a bulb, the refrigerator, and the various electric devices that we use in our daily life. Now next, here are the some common type of symbol which are being used in a particular circuit. An electric cell, if a single cell is represented, this is the symbol. But when a combination of cell is there, as we know, the combination of cell is known as a battery. So the combination of cell is represented as this. Suppose a plug is open, not connected to the source, so this is the symbol. When it is closed, that is the current is flowing in the circuit, this is a closed switch. Whenever there is a joint of wire between the circuit, this is the symbol. And whenever there is a wire overlapping over another wire but not jointed at that point, this is the symbol, crossing without joining. Whenever we see the bulb not glowing, this is the symbol. Resistor, for the resistance, this is the symbol. If there is an arrow between the resistor, this is a variable resistance, that the resistance is not constant. This is an ammeter, and this is the representation of the voltmeter. So these are the various representations of particular elements in a circuit. Now next. Now the most important one in this chapter is the Ohm's law. What does we understand by Ohm's law? So, if we analyze the Ohm's law, it tells us that at a constant temperature, the current flowing through a conductor is directly proportional to the potential difference across its ends. That means if there is a conductor, let's suppose this is a conductor and these have a two cross sectional area. This is the end A, this is the end B. The Ohm's law is saying that whenever a current I is flowing through this conductor, this current I is proportional to the difference of potential between these two ends, that is proportional to delta V. But it is only applicable at a constant temperature. At a constant temperature. At a constant temperature. So if we remove the proportionality sign, we can write it as IR is equal to V, and this is the proportionality constant, also known as the resistance of the conductor, and this resistance is the property of a conductor to resist the flow of charges through it. This resistance will oppose the flow of charge or the current through the conductor. If we analyze the SI unit of resistance, so the resistance can also be written as in SI unit, its SI unit is ohm. Ohm can also be defined as the resistance is coming out to be V upon I. So the SI unit of V is volt, as we have seen, and I has ampere, so it is written as volt per ampere. So how can we define 1 ohm? So 1 ohm will be defined as when 1 volt of potential difference is applied across a conductor and there is a flow of 1 ampere of current, then the resistance is coming out to be 1 ohm. Now next, what is resistivity? Before going into resistivity, we have to see some factor that resistance can also be written as rho L upon A. This is the formula of resistance. This rho in case of resistance is coming from factors that affect the resistance. So the factor that affect the resistance is directly proportional to length. So if we double the length, resistance will be doubled. If we 4 times the length, resistance will be 4 times. That is the meaning of direct proportional. Resistance is inversely proportional to area. If we double the area, resistance will be reduced by 4 times. Resistance will be reduced by 2 times, not 4 times. That means if something is doubled, it will reduce by half. That is the meaning of inverse proportional. So if we write it as R is directly proportional to L divided by A, we have no problem. And if you remove this proportionality, R is written as rho L upon A. So here the rho is coming from this point, and this rho is known as the resistivity of a particular conductor. It is an inherent property of any material which decides that whether the material is a conductor, semiconductor, or insulator, whether it is more conducting, less conducting, intermediate, or not conducting. The resistance of a conductor is directly proportional to the length, inversely proportional to area. But another factor is also there which affect the resistance. That resistance is also proportional to the nature of material. The nature of material which are being used. If we use the metal, there is a very low resistance. If we use the semiconductor, some resistance is increased. But if we use the non-metals, very high amount of resistance. So resistance is also dependent on the nature of the material. Now let us talk about what is the SI unit of resistivity. If we conclude from this formula, R has SI unit of ohm, length has SI unit of meter, and in math you have also read that area have a SI unit of meter square, which is length square. If we analyze the formula, rho is equal to RA upon L, that is ohm meter square divided by meter. So this meter cancels the square and the SI unit is coming out to be ohm meter. So the SI unit of resistivity is ohm meter. Now next. Now what are the effect of resistance being connected in series? Suppose a group of resistance is connected in this manner. This is the resistance R1, this is R2, and this is R3. This is the series connection. So in series, the equivalent resistance is coming out to be R1 plus R2 plus R3 and so on. The infinite number of resistance you can connect and so on. In series connection, the current flowing through the each resistor is the same. That is the current. If here current is I, so in each resistor the current will be I. But the potential difference in each resistor will be different. The potential difference across the ends of series combination is distributed across the resistance. That is, all the resistor have the different potential difference. That means if we analyze here its potential difference, if we write as V is equal to IR, so the V1 will be IR1 because I is same in all case. V2 will be IR2 and V3 will be IR3 because current is same in all case and resistance is different. So potential difference will also be different in each case. Here the equivalent resistance is greater than the greatest resistance in the combination. If this R3 suppose is the greatest resistance of this whole combination, this is individual the greatest one, so the combination of whole one will be greater than this greatest one because we are adding all of them. So the combination will be greater one. So these are the features of the resistance in series. So this is the symbol for the resistance in series. R1, R2 and R3 connected in series. There is an ammeter for the measuring of current. There is a voltmeter for the measuring of voltage. This is the battery, the combination of the different cells. This is the closed switch, that the current flowing inside the circuit. So this is the exact representation of a circuit for a resistor in series. Next. So now what is the condition when that same resistance are connected in parallel combination? If we connect the resistor in a parallel combination like this one, this is another resistor, this is another resistor, this is R2, this is R1, this is R3, and here is the connection of battery along with them. Suppose this is the battery connection. And if we write the equivalent resistance, so 1 upon R equivalent can be written as 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 plus 1 upon R3 and so on. We can connect the infinite number of resistance. What are the features of the parallel combination? The potential difference across each resistance is the same in case of parallel combination. In previous case in series, the current was same. Here the potential is same. Suppose the V is the potential of the battery. So the V have same potential in all case. But the current will be different. So we can write here as V is equal to IR, as this is same in all case. So the current will be V upon R1 in first case, in second case V upon R2, and in third case V upon R3. Through this we can determine the current. In equivalent resistance of a parallel, it is lesser than the least of all the resistance in the combination. Any individual resistance which is in the combination of parallel will be greater than the all combination. So the combination of resistance will be lesser than any individual resistance. That in previous case in series it was greater than any individual resistance, but here it is least than any individual resistance. Now next, this is the circuit diagram for the resistor in parallel. This is R1, R2, R3, connection of an ammeter for the measure of current, voltmeter for the measurement of voltage. This is the combination of cells, that is the battery, and this is the closed switch that indicate that the current is flowing inside the circuit. The perfect measurement or the perfect diagram of the resistors connected in parallel. Now the next topic coming out in this chapter is the heating effect of electric current. Heating effect of electric current due to which heat is produced in the conductor when the current passes through it. It is called the heating effect of electric current. When an electric current is passing through a conductor and if it is radiating some heat, that effect is known as the heating effect of electric current. That electric current is producing the heat, and that heat is given as the proportionality to the square of the current, resistance proportionality, time proportionality. That heat is proportional to the square of current, proportional to resistance, and proportional to time. So that heat is written as I square RT. Can also be written as VIT if we replace this I square by V square by R square into R into T. This R and R can cut this, and this is coming out to be V square by R into T. This is also known as Joule's law of heating because the scientist who given it named as Joule's, which state that the heat is produced in the resistor directly proportional to the square of the current, resistance of the conductor, and time of which current flows through the resistance. So the formula is coming out to be I square RT, H is equal to VIT or I square RT, square of the current, resistance, and time, direct relation. Next. Applications of heating effect of electric current can be seen in of various purposes in our daily life. In an electric fuse, the fuse is broken when a large amount of current is suddenly passed through the resistance. In iron, the electric current produces the heat and due to which our clothes are being ironed. In electric bulb, that heating effect glows the bulb which is produced by the current, and in bulb filament is made up of the tungsten. In a room heater, the cord of a heater glows because there is a electric current which produces the heating effect, which is also known as heating effect of electric current. So these are the applications of heating effect of electric current in our daily life. Next. Now, the last topic of this chapter is the electric power. What do you mean by electric power? It is the rate at which the electrical energy is produced or consumed in a particular electric circuit. In the class 9th, in motion, you have learned that power is the rate of consumption of the energy or the rate of doing any work. Similar to this, in electricity, the power is the rate of consumption of electric energy in an electric circuit. It is written as P power is equal to VI, or it can also be written as V is equal to IR according to Ohm's law. So IR into I, it is equal to I square R, and if we replace this I is equal from V by R, so V into V by R, so it is equal to V square upon R. The SI unit of power is equal to watt. The 1 watt is defined as the consumption of power when an 1 ampere of current is flowing through a circuit by applying the potential difference of 1 volt. So when a potential difference of 1 volt is applied to a circuit and 1 ampere of current is flowing through the circuit, then the consumption of power is equal to 1 watt. The commercial unit of power is the kilowatt hour. So 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 1 unit, which is multiplied to the amount which is decided by the government to calculate the meter bill of our house monthly. This 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 3.6 into 10 to the power 6 joule. So this is the power. If we combine the power of an equivalent resistance which have a different resistor, so power equivalent is equal to P1 plus P2 plus P3, and similar the infinite number of resistance, the infinite number of power can be added to Pn. So this is the formula of a P equivalent of a power. So this was the end of this chapter. Hope कि आपको सारी बातें समझ आई होंगी. अगर कोई डाउट है तो कमेंट सेक्शन में ज़रूर बताएं. अगला कौन सा चैप्टर आए ये भी कमेंट सेक्शन में लिखकर बताएं. आपको हमारी वीडियोस अच्छी लगती है, वीडियोस को लाइक करें, अपने फ्रेंड्स, रिलेटिव्स और क्लासमेट्स और जिनको इनकी ज़रूरत है उनके साथ शेयर करें। चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करना बिल्कुल भी ना भूलें ताकि आपको लेटेस्ट नोटिफिकेशन समय पर मिलती रहे। फिर मिलेंगे इसी तरह की अमेजिंग वीडियोज़ के साथ, तब तक के लिए शुक्रिया।